Now, welcome to Let's Talk Some Skeleton Crew, where this time we will be discussing the 5th episode of the Disney Plus series. And once again, we kick it off with Naboo's thoughts on this episode.
Boy, this episode, it had everything. It had everything in Cthulhu. I mean,
it had a mini, big Cthulhu. Mini for Cthulhu, I think, but...
Well,
and his
Cthulhu
name was
could
like...
be many sizes.
What was his name? Cat? It was very similar to...
very similar to Cthulhu. It wasn't Cthulhu, but I think of him as Cthulhu.
That's immediately what I thought, and then I heard his name, and I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Little Lovecraft going on.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed this episode, though. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of Star Wars feel. They had some adult moments. They had some kid moments. They had everything.
It was the perfect episode of this show. I mean, not like the perfectest episode of all time anywhere ever, but like for this series, and it's a good series, don't get me wrong, but it was like the perfect episode. It just got every little thing right and every big thing right as well.
Mm-hmm. It hit all the notes it needed to hit and be a successful episode.
Yeah. I was amazed how much I enjoyed this one. And when it ended, I'm like, oh my God, we need the next episode. Like now.
Like now?
Yeah.
We even got to watch it on Christmas Eve, which is a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of surprised they decided. And what's funny is that it's like their best episode. You'd think you would kind of want to move it away from the holidays to get as much, spotlight on it as possible.
I think that they underestimated their own show.
I'm beginning to wonder if they don't have any idea what good Star Wars is.
Because I think this one where they were like, this one might not be so good. I don't know what to do with it. I don't think the marketing on it was very strong. And then it came out and it was like, people like this show?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, we had heard, and we don't know if they were true or not. We had heard rumors from behind the scenes for the last year, basically, that they didn't really know what the show even wanted to be or what it was supposed to be. And they had some problems, and that's why it was delayed like a year. Initially, it was going to come out like last November, and this has easily been one of their best shows.
Could it perhaps be because of the delay that it got better?
Probably, right? Maybe they did some reshoots or rethought a few things and edited it a bit. I don't know.
Jude Law has been doing a fantastic job as
He's amazing
Jod.
in this, yeah.
And the kids have been good, too.
Yeah.
Like, usually you get worried, kids in the
Child
show,
actors,
how annoying is it going to be? The kids have been they've been pulling their weight in this show.
No, everything has been on point.
They have the gravity in the moments they need the gravity. And they have the playful, remember we're kids when they need to. Yeah. It's very well done. Though I called Wim in the lightsaber holding it upside down.
You did. The moment before it happened, you're like, it's upside down, isn't it? And like then he lights it and like, yeah, that was perfect.
Because it would have been way too Broom Boy if he had it the right way and was like, I got Jod to back down. Yes. No, it would have been too Broom Boy. Him having it upside down because he doesn't know what a lightsaber... Perfect. And watching poor Fern struggle with yielding, with giving up the little authority she had, with turning them, for failing her friends, which is what she was afraid of.
That episode last week now has more gravitas because we understand Fern takes this very serious. She understood what it means to be a leader, and she now understands what it means to give it up or had to make that decision. Does she yield or... does she die?
Which makes me glad that Wim did not become the captain.
Yeah, well...
I think that her in this leadership position, now that she fully understands the leadership position, she's doing very well. And they had a lot of mystery in this episode that is going to carry it into the next few episodes.
Yeah, they keep they string you along just well enough with that Atton mystery, where every week you get a little bit more to chew on, a little bit more to kind of digest and try to figure out.
We found out it was indeed the mint you assumed it was.
Yeah.
Then we have a new part of the mystery. We want to know Jod's background because we are for sure now. He definitely has force powers very clearly.
He was probably in the Jedi Order as a youngling. I don't know, maybe Padawan. I'm thinking youngling. I'm thinking something happened when he was a youngling, and I saw someone suggest maybe he was kidnapped by pirates. That seems pretty good.
Plausible.
And he knows the lessons of the Jedi Order, but has kind of twisted them in a way with the attachment thing.
In a way that suits the lifestyle he's choosing.
Yeah, exactly. What he became is now, he kind of reflects on that. And I think that's very interesting how you can kind of...
Well, he kind of took no attachments as I'm only out for myself.
Exactly. Yeah, whereas what no attachments means is having compassion for all as a Jedi. You don't... When you say no attachments, it's not like you don't care about anything. You care about everything equally, is how a Jedi is supposed to look at it. Whereas Jod has gone kind of through the extreme, where his no attachments is, I only care about myself.
I also find it extremely interesting that he could have taken that ship at any point in time. He knew the pirate rules, that he could tell the robot, I'm challenging for captain. Yet he let the kids string him along until he found out, whose ship this was, and he found out that they lived on a mint.
Yeah, it literally lived on a mint, yeah. Which I think is when he made the decision, because I think his idea is if I return these kids, I'm going to be rewarded, right?
Mm-hmm. He thought, you know what? If it's not a treasure planet, I'm going to get something.
Yeah, they're going to do something for me. I'm going to get something out of it. They do have these credits on this planet, so maybe I can weasel myself some nice reward. But when it turned out that they're making literal Old Republic credits, he figured, well, now I can take the kids and ransom them and make a whole lot more.
Right. He decided he let greed rule out.
Yeah. Which is why I also, again, going back to last week, and whatever, I'm not trying to criticize it too much here, but like that's why I wish like last week we could have played into a few of these themes a little bit more, like how Jode kind of was the hero last week and was starting to earn their trust, it felt like.
Mm-hmm. Which is why this week's episode was so good, because that long pause as he made up his decision of what to do, the audience, we're sitting there going, we don't know what he's going to do because he's proven himself to them.
Yep.
But then 100%, he still betrayed him.
Yeah, that was such a dramatic pause because I'm like, what is he going to do here? Because you're assuming, well, he's helped them all of this time, so why is he going to turn on them now? But when you, again, think about it, he is just for himself. He thought helping the kids was going to get something. Now he realizes, again, like taking them captive is going to get him more. So that's what he does.
And I do wonder if there'll be something impactful, if we'll ever see the face of the captain. The fact that Neil was like, what's wrong with the recording? Why can't we see this face? I'm like, could this mean that seeing the face could be important?
It seems that way, but who could it be? I've seen some people, maybe it's Hondo. It didn't sound like Hondo. I don't think Hondo's been around long enough to have crashed that ship. So what character do we know that it could possibly be? Is it a character we've already seen somehow?
I don't know.
But you feel like if you're going to keep it a secret.
Somehow it relates to the mysterious supervisor.
I think it does. We had someone in our Discord suggest that perhaps the captain, I forget his name now.
Renard or
Bernard? Yeah, Renald, Tech Renald.
I don't remember exactly
I'll put it in I'll put it on the screen. But perhaps he is the supervisor. He found the planet, he crashed there, and he stayed there, and he's kind of just been hoarding a lot of credits for who knows how long.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it was interesting that they also made note that at Akron, the statue that was sitting there had no face. It had no head. And now we can't see the face or the head of the captain, which they remarked on again. So I feel like this is going to be an important piece of the puzzle, just like the fact that we haven't seen the supervisor. We got a nice little shot of the adults trying to take matters into their own hands.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Fern's mom is higher up in the government, yet somehow they still can't get any help.
She seems like she is like just under, she's the understudy or something to the supervisor.
Undersecretary. Something like that.
Under something, yeah. So she seems like she's kind of second in command to the supervisor, but can't even get a meeting with the supervisor.
Mm-hmm. The supervisor is not going to be what we expect, and I like that.
No.
At the beginning you think it's just the human in charge, the sentient being in charge, and it might be more than that.
I think it's a droid.
The fact
I'm sticking with a droid.
Even the undersecretary doesn't realize that the Old Republic has fallen, that it's been decades and thousands of years, in fact.
At least hundreds, I would say.
At least hundreds of years, yeah. They've missed the High Republic era.
Well, we don't know that. When they say
everyone
Old
else
Republic,
says Old Republic credits. I don't know.
Yeah. But that could just refer to the Republic before the Empire. We don't know exactly what they're saying when they mean, when they say Old Republic. That's thousands of years potentially of history.
But they are missing a big chunk of history in that they don't know that the world has gone on and changed.
Yeah, the galaxy, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm very interested to see where this is going. They've left us more breadcrumbs. I like that they're answering the questions about I'm going to say the wrong planet.
Yeah.
They're answering the questions about Atton, but they're still giving us new things to ponder. Like now we're interested in Jod's backstory. We're interested in who is this pirate person. We're interested in who is the supervisor. So there's more questions that they're feeding us. They're giving us some answers. Like we now understand the mystery and why Atton was hidden and why it's the gem of the Republic. Because of course you'd hide the mint.
Well, more than
like, it would be a target for pirates and scum and villainy
of all kinds. Yeah.
Of course, you'd want that place hidden under wraps.
Or under
So all of the planets that were hidden were either all of them were mints or had some sort of cog in the machine that was vital to the running of the government.
It still seems weird that we have like this almost social experiment on all of them, maybe because at Atton and at Akron are so similar. They almost seem like they were laid out the same and kind of had the same structure. So
it's bureaucrats. That's what they get.
Well, yeah, it could. I don't think it's going to be anything too nefarious. Like, there's some kind of really dark agenda here. Like, the Sith have been doing this, which, again, we've discussed that theory.
I think that's going to be just a delve layer too deep for the show.
I agree. I think it's going to be as simple. Like I said, I think it's going to be simple that it is, again, it's a droid that they're following some kind of program laid forth by the Old Republic hundreds, thousands of years ago. They just keep making the money, and they keep the analysts and everything else keeping track of the money, essentially.
But what's funny is no planet, no ships leave the planet, so the money doesn't go anywhere.
That is the interesting part, right?
So
What is
are they
happened to that
still
hoard of
making money, or does it
I
just
think
get
so.
cycled down and reforged over and over again?
It could
Like,
be.
why are you making money? Why are you minting money when the money doesn't leave anymore?
Well, keep in mind,
I feel like the droids are the one that isolated the planet at this point. Like, there was some sort of protocol like, well, the Republic we served fell. We don't know what to do, but we're just going to keep doing because we're machines and we're just on cycle repeat at this point.
That's what I'm saying. They're just following a program that was laid forth 1,000 years ago, and they don't, even if they do know the Republic fell, like, what are they supposed to do? They're droids. They just keep doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. They just don't ship them the money off planet. It probably goes to some sort of plant, gets melted down and used to make new currency.
Well, we have to keep in mind, and the show is very clever. I love that the show is clever, and it gives you all kind of hints that you don't necessarily even realize are hints at first, because keep in mind, the credits that Jode used to bribe the hostess and that they've used to do all sorts of things at this point, and it's very much implied that is a lot of money, or those credits are worth a lot of money. That was Wim's lunch money for the week.
Yeah.
So
that was just the money, the pocket money the kids had.
Yeah, that's like, here's a couple bucks, get yourself,
here's your lunch money for the week. Yeah, this is just the kids' pocket money, because I think it's more than just Wim's at this point, because he asked all the kids to give up their pocket money. Datarids.
Datarids, something like that.
Datarays.
Yeah, Datarays.
It's like when you ask a kid for their pocket change, and they hand you some like quarters and pennies.
Yeah, it's
and somebody find out that they're actually like pirate doubloons, thousands of years old, and they're extremely valuable.
Yeah.
Like a kid with a pocket full of gemstones walking around.
Yeah. But I mean, if we can kind of extrapolate from that, if that's pocket money, essentially, and it's, at Atton, but in the rest of the galaxy, it's worth riches, how much do they have on Atton?
That planet is rich beyond their wildest dreams, and they have no idea.
Yeah, no, they have no clue. They're just
buying
lunch with it.
Then you flood the market with it, and the value will go down a bit anyhow.
Sure.
But there's no way there's enough on that planet to destroy the market on it.
No, I don't think it's in circulation. I mean, it's Old Republic credit, so it's just a matter of what's the value of either because it's an Old Republic credit and it's collectible condition. Or well, they're being reminted or whatever they're doing with it. There could just be hordes and hordes of Old Republic credits that they just have been producing for hundreds of years, or like you suggest, they just keep redoing it.
I also like that we've gotten through, I think, most of the trailer images. So
most of them, yeah.
So we're really going into the unknown.
There are a couple images.
I think there are a couple. I don't recall exactly which ones.
Like there's the one where the kids are like overlooking something where they're kind of on like a cliff.
And the ship looking like it's like in a junk heap or getting junked or something.
That's about the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
We've seen most of the clips, so I'm really excited because that means
we're going into the.
Because I was worried that seeing that pirate cave, I thought that was going to be like the end. Here they found the pirate. No, that's not it.
No, that's midpoint. Essentially,
we have to find out what's going to happen next. We know that the chamber above got refilled with acid.
Oh yeah,
it was grim.
Brutal.
There was some grim and brutal stuff.
Yeah, not showing, but heavily implied.
And how does Fern feel? She okayed it. Remember, he said, "Can you do it?" And the thing's like, "Can the captain say yes?" And she's like, "I guess so." Yeah. She knows what happened.
They know what happened.
I mean, they might not have all died, depending on how fast it refilled. Some of them might have escaped or not been all the way down in there.
I think they all got killed. That acid was pretty severe acid. Like, I mean, just SM-33 dipped his toe and it started to melt away basically. So I think they're pretty much dead.
But not all of them went down.
No, I'm assuming
Depends on how many needed to go down.
I don't know what his character's name is, but I know I'm just gonna call him I hope it is. I hope his Herp? I herp his name is Urcal. That would be amazing. Be perfect. That would be, because it sounds Star Wars, but it would be
really does
from Urkel from Family Matters. If you're not in the know there.
If it isn't, I've renamed him that.
Yes, that's what I want it to be so badly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to sum it up, nothing but impressed with this episode. I have nothing bad to say.
People who aren't watching this, I feel like you should give it a try.
Please do.
Watch the first two together as intended. Because I think it takes the first two episodes to
the
really
first episode was a little weak and the fourth was a little weak, but not bad. I
think the second episode makes the first better. So I feel like you have to watch the first two together as they intended. Just like with Andor, watching the first arc as a full 3 was good.
Makes it better, yeah.
Watching just the first one might not have been enough to really hook you.
No, it is an excellent show, and if you're listening to this whole review, you should just watch it already instead of listening to us talk about it.
There's a rule like that with anime too. You have to give like the first.
I've heard
like
that.
the first 3 episodes before you
Yeah.
give up on an anime. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, excellent series so far. Looking forward to the final 3 episodes. And yeah, who knew Disney could actually make good Star Wars stuff besides Andor. Gives me hope for the future, honestly, that maybe they can look at this and go, oh, so this is good. Andor was good. So they're two opposite extremes. Star Wars doesn't have to fit into one certain category. It can be different things, but whatever you're touching on in these two shows, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of the 5th episode of Skeleton Crew. Maybe we're crazy. Maybe it wasn't that good, but from everything I've heard, everybody's loving this one. But whatever the case may be, though, leave a comment below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.